Hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the Swear Word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear, and this is a podcast for the Chilihead community, by the Chilihead community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Man, we have an amazing episode here tonight, locked and loaded, ready to go. We have two sauces on deck, an amazing guest, and of course, we brought back a very fun game, episode number 59. Hey, welcome on in, Swear Nation. So glad to have everyone here. We have an amazing episode here, locked and loaded, ready for tonight. But hey, if you enjoyed last Thursday's episode, man, it is going to be an absolute blast to be able to continue to roll out content on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the podcast. So if you're tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Rumble, glad to have you here. And if this is your first time checking out the show, definitely catch us then. But we have two sauces on deck for Hot or Not. Both of them are from Madman Sauces. And then, of course, we have the Madman himself here as our guest tonight. And then, of course, we brought back the game. So we're going to be having some fun. Go ahead and jump on, be a part in the chat. Let us know in the comments if you would have, changed anything on the game. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to Hot or Not. All right, hey, welcome on into Hot or Not. This is going to be an amazing one here tonight. We have two sauces from Madman Sauces. We have the Berry Irritated, and we have the Spicy Barbecue. Loving the overall visual appeal of these sauces, both from the presentation from the graphics, but also the sauce itself. But we'll start here tonight with the Berry Irritated. So let me go ahead and grab that one here. Give it a good shake. Oh, let me go ahead and open this up as well. So it does have a seal on top. Let me go ahead and pop that. Set it to the side. Oh, man. Aroma is absolutely amazing. All right. Before I get too carried away. So while I get this a good shake, it's a rather thin sauce, so no need to really worry about it getting stuck or not, whatnot. It does have the nice twist cap for the flow control. But overall, if this is your first time checking out the show or first time even stopping in on a Hot or Not, I do things a little bit different here. So I don't do a 1 to 10 scale. I do 1 out of 5. 5 categories: heat, aroma, flavor, versatility, burn. I also do not like to read the ingredients ahead of time. I like to let my taste buds do the exploration, and then afterwards I will read the ingredients. But let's go ahead and break this one down and get it going on Berry Irritated. So get a good pour here, or in this case, a nice helping squeeze. Try to do this without spilling. Very nice flow to this, great color. I mean, looks like a blueberry, looks like a blackberry kind of color and look to this overall sauce. So here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I got to get a little bit more. Got to do it. It's so good. Right off the bat, from an aroma standpoint, since I smelt it first, we'll talk about it. Right off the bat, you get this great sweet note, a little bit of an overall berry smell. Smells like a little bit like a blueberry. And then you get a touch of vinegar towards the finish of the overall aroma. On the taste, you get this second it hits your lips. Nice, sweet, almost silky taste and consistency to this sauce. From there, the sweetness really just gets a bright pop of the overall blueberry taste. And then from the blueberry taste, then you start to feel it really latch onto your tongue and your taste buds. And then it just ramps in with that overall heat. So the flavor of the pepper notes on this does have a little bit of initial sting, which leads me to think this might be more of a habanero. So all in all, phenomenal stuff. Man, that's so good. All right, let's talk about this, because with this sauce being very unique, I can see myself not only using this on food, on desserts, but I could also see myself using this in a drink. It would be absolutely amazing to put some of this drizzled into, say, a lemonade, a tea. Man, that would be absolutely phenomenal, bringing forward that amazing fruit taste, but also bringing a little bit of heat as well with that. So I do break down things different. So heat is that initial, 0 to 30 seconds max. Burn is where it sits, how it sits, and if it lingers, does it build? All the other above, that kind of goes into that. So right off the bat, a nice overall front of the mouth pop and kind of a little bit of stinging sizzle. Definitely makes me think it's a habanero, but all in all, very manageable, very reasonable. If you are just starting out, moderation is key, and that's going to be the biggest focus on this. But if you're using it like I'm saying, if you're adding it to food, if you're putting it in a drink, and you're kind of having it kind of mixed and mingled in that way, definitely should be manageable and reasonable for you to be able to utilize. Now, let's speak on the burn here. So overall, the burn on this sauce, it fades out rather quick, but what it does do is it leaves a slight sizzle roar on the mid section of the tongue. And it just kind of sits there and slowly starts to fade out as it's just flickering away. But absolutely amazing, drives you back in for more. Nothing in the chest, nothing in the stomach. Phenomenal sauce. But let's go ahead and get some stuff input on this. And while that's getting input, let's go ahead and read off some ingredients here. Berry irritated, we have ingredients of blueberries, vinegar, water, high fructose corn syrup, and then we have fruit pectin, citric acid, brown sugar, and habanero peppers. Absolutely amazing. The blueberries and the habaneros pair beautifully in this sauce. The habaneros, if you're just starting out, you probably aren't picking up on these full notes, but the habanero pepper as a whole does have a nice overall body to it as your tolerance builds. I really love the overall availability, first and foremost, of the habanero pepper, but it has a phenomenal balance of heat and flavor for all of those that are either building their tolerance, trying to maintain the tolerance, or just looking to have an amazing way to enjoy your dish. So, love what is going on in this sauce. Very limited ingredients, very well executed. Phenomenal job from Madman Sauces. That is Berry Irritated. Let's go ahead and read this one off here. And here we go. Berry Irritated from Madman Sauces. Here we go. Heat coming in at a 3. Aroma coming in at 3.78. Flavor coming in at 4.45. Versatility at 4.38. Burn of 3.2 for a total swear word rating of 3.76. I love it. Absolutely amazing. I'll have the direct link for Berry Irritated down below. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the next sauce. All right, so spicy barbecue. Once again, this is a bigger bottle for anyone that was interested. The Berry Irritated is a 4-ounce bottle. The spicy barbecue comes in an 8-ounce bottle. But let's get this one. Let's get this one going. Go ahead and pop open the cap. Remove the seal. Once again, it's got that nice twist lid function so you can control the flow. Wow, absolutely. Smells amazing. Nice overall savory pop of this sauce just right off the nostrils. You're carrying forward what smells like some onions, some garlic, you know, your typical go-to spices for what you're going to find in, say, a barbecue sauce. But then you get that phenomenal overall pepper note towards the finish of this sauce. Very liking the smell of this. It smells very complex. So let's get into it. Give it a good shake. And here we go. Open up the cap. Give it a good pour. You know, consistency on this, I would say this is a nice, nice medium consistency. Not too thick, not too thin. Will hold well on a sandwich from what I can see. You know, not one you would have to worry about. Probably the same thing. I bet this would lather up great on a taco without having any kind of issues of it rolling away. So we'll get that on over there. Nice color to the sauce. You see specks of, you know, pepper. Looks like maybe some other spices that are in here, but here we go. Man, that is amazing. All right. Right off the bat, super savory, nice, subtle, clean notes as it's coming through. And then it starts to really pick up more on the spices side of things. Getting a little bit of the overall base to this sauce, just really shining through with all the smoky, savory complexities that are going on there. Then it transitioning into just a little bit of sweetness, nothing too crazy. A nice little palate transition note, if you will, that then goes into the overall pepper nature to this sauce. The heat on this, very manageable, very reasonable. If you're just starting out, you'll be able to enjoy this sauce. The heat is not where you're going to be picking up the most of what's going on in this sauce. From a heat standpoint, it's very reasonable. On the burn side, it's where it starts to ramp up a bit. So heat, initially, you're getting a little bit on the tip of the tongue, nothing too crazy. You're really just enjoying the overall sauce. As it starts to latch onto the tongue, onto the taste buds, that's where you feel it just ramp up just a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but enough to be noticeable. So if you're just starting out, nice sauce for you to jump into. Great barbecue sauce for you to really build that tolerance and enjoy on all your food. You know, very clear that flavor is one of the main focal points, you know, when evaluating these sauces. So not a sauce that I'd be using for, say, desserts, but very much so would be using this on, you know, pizzas, burgers, sandwiches, you name it. Barbecue for sure. Obviously, it's a barbecue sauce, but very, very complex. You could use this on tacos. You name it. If you use barbecue sauce on it, this is going to be an absolute home run for you. Love the overall hold on this sauce. It's not too thin where it's just going to run away and take off. So great job. Very well executed. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and read off some ingredients here from Madman Sauces. This is the spicy barbecue sauce. All right, here we go. First ingredient is grapes. Second ingredient, vinegar, ketchup. And then we have apples, habanero, peppers, limes, brown sugar, onion. And then we have blackstrap molasses, honey, smoked chili, garlic powder, chili powder, kosher salt, onion powder, chili pekin, paprika, turmeric, smoked paprika, and black pepper. All in all, phenomenal barbecue sauce. Really liking the multi-use of different types of peppers within this one sauce. I think it really kind of carries forward as far as that initial, initial zip that you're getting is really coming from that pekin. So definitely like what's going on here. As I was thinking about this and letting the flavor really just sink in, this would be absolutely phenomenal on either some like short ribs, doing like a Korean barbecue style. Like absolutely, this has to be phenomenal for that. So it's very, very unique and interesting to see grapes and apples in this sauce. And that sweet note that kind of carries as that transitionary between the savory to the overall pepper forward nature. I bet you that's what's doing it. It provides just enough sweetness to really kind of be that palate shift, and it does a phenomenal job there. So Madman sauces. This is the spicy barbecue. Heat coming in at 2.89, aroma at a 4, flavor at a 4.22, versatility at a 4, and a burn of 3.42 for a total swear word rating of 3.71. There we go. Absolutely another amazing sauce from Madman Sauces. So, hey, if you are looking to pick up either of these sauces, I'll have the direct links down below as well as the links to the main page so you can go check out the full lineup. But let's go ahead and jump on over to the interview. Hey, Joseph, how's it going?
What's going on, Ray? How you doing over there, man?
Man, I'm doing good. Obviously, this has been a long time coming. We've bumped into each other a few times at different events, both Zest Fest and then North Texas Hot Sauce Festival. Love what you're doing. Absolutely loving it. And the passion, the creativity. Each time meeting you, you always have something that you're working up, and I'm loving that.
Thank you, thank you. Is when you have ADHD, man, like you constantly don't sit down, and so instead of trying to focus on doing a lot of other things, I just focus on trying to be a mad scientist when it comes to doing these sauces, and that's what really gets me excited to do these things. It's, oh, why did this sauce explode, or why did this sauce do this, or why did this do that? It's just like the science behind hot sauce and why it does the things it does. Like that gets me super excited. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Absolutely. 100% agree. And I think that's awesome that you have that passion, you have that drive, that spark that's just lit. And man, just let that thing continue to grow because you're doing some phenomenal stuff out there. What we'll do is we'll jump into a very softball question, one that I always like to lead off with, which is, what was your moment jumping into the world of spice that brought you in, and then that catapult moment that made you decide to start creating all kinds of great products?
really what started it for me was uh I'm growing I was growing a lot of things in my greenhouse, and I had way too many peppers, and I was working at this ATX Beamer place, and there was like, you keep bringing us all these peppers. Why don't you just try to make a sauce out of them instead, or whatever? That's how it started. But then, as I'm walking to my greenhouse, I feel this really strong energy. Like, hey, this is something you should really be doing. I ain't never ate hot sauce or made hot sauce until that day. I felt that energy. And I feel like if I was my normal angry self, I wouldn't have received that energy, but I was open to receive that energy walking into the greenhouse. And within that week, I came out with OG. That's my baby. I started out with that one right there because everybody a OG if you're an old head or
Yep.
you want to say it. That's my baby. And then Blondie, and then Fire, and then I feel like I'm missing one of those bad boys because it's just four of those: Blondie, OG, Fire, and Sweet Heat. Sweet Heat. That it's not over here. Just sleeping on that one. But I came up with those sausages within a week. Those four,
Wow.
and I just kept going at it, kept going at it, just kept going at it. And that's how it came about. But when I was cooking for the first time, though, I didn't know that you were supposed to open up the doors or, do all of that, those things like that, right? And so my dog is sneezing. I've got used to it. It ain't nothing to me. My dog is sneezing. Nothing. No. Okay. But when my roommate comes out and open the door, when he gets that first whiff, he's like, "Oh my God, what is this?" I'm like, "Bro, are you good? Like, seriously, are you good?" He's like, "I can't breathe." And he's sneezing. He's sneezing. So I go out of the garage. I mean, go out into the garage because he's like, "Just go out and come back in." Okay. So I go out, come back in. I couldn't even breathe. I started sneezing. His dog started sneezing. I was just like, oh snap, somebody want to open up the house. Like this is ridiculous, but that's how all these things come about. But I wish that he was here and he could tell you, because it's much funnier when he tells it. But yeah.
Oh yeah, no, definitely understand that how that goes. Really tear gassing the whole house, right? Now it's become so I'll dabble here and there, do some things whenever I take my grows, and most of the time I'm making powders, and just stuff that I can mix in and heat up any kind of dish, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same thing. Like I'll be cooking something down or dehydrating or smoking peppers, and man, I have to make sure the family is asleep these days. And then I do an extra layer of protection. I shut the doors, and then I stuff under the door
Yeah,
fold the
exactly.
towel just to keep it all out of there, because otherwise everyone's sneezing, coughing.
Yeah.
Last time I did it, everyone was gone except for my dog, and
Yeah.
he's dying. He's you can hear him like sneezing repeatedly at the door, scratching at the back door to get out. And I was like, all
Oh,
right, fine, I'll let you out. But yeah, no, it's wild. It really is. And anyone that hasn't experienced that, just know that whenever you're in a restaurant and you order something spicy and they're cooking it in the back, and all of a sudden you hear everyone coughing or you start to get your nose tingling, that's exactly what that is.
yep, exactly, exactly. So how did you like want to start doing these things with like coming to hot sauce events, recording and doing all of these type of things like that? Especially
Yeah.
for guys like us. So like I'm
Yeah, yeah,
curious.
yeah. The whole thing is like I've been a part of the community, in the community, and I've been kind of like hiding in the background, if you will. Just I interact. I'll show my stuff. I'll do some grows. I used to grow a pretty large amount, so about 240 to 270 different super hot plants in my backyard at one point for a few years in a row, and
All right,
then
Joe.
yeah, yeah. It was great. And then so I have three kids. My oldest is my son, who's 15.
Pause. You just said 3 kids. You look like you 21.
Yeah, yeah. That's the blessing and the curse right there, is I look deceivingly young for how old I actually am. So
Hey, that's good. That's really good.
yeah, yeah, it'll pay out dividends whenever I'm in my 50s and 60s. So we'll see. We'll see.
Sir.
But yeah, no, and like with my son, it was fine. I could grow. He was old enough at the time to really like be able to handle. But then both my daughters, whenever they were born, is whenever everything kind of scaled down. So my first daughter came around, the grow went from the 270, 240 down to like 160, and then from there, like had one amazing harvest, and then it just started to dial back because one, I ran out of freezer space, and then two, it was just
Correct.
like I couldn't find the time because newborn baby, trying to do that whole thing.
Yes.
And
Yes,
then
sir.
shortly after that, my second daughter was on the way, and it was just like, all right, scale it back. So now I got like the dirty dozen every year, and I just like I rock with them, and if they die, they die. If they live, they live. But yeah,
What type of pepper like is your favorite that you was actually growing? Since you said you had over 200 something plants, I'm like I couldn't even
yeah,
imagine, because like I have a greenhouse, like all of this started in there. You talking about like that means you got not a small space. So
yeah,
now
yeah, yeah. What at the first, whenever I did it, I'm very much a man of act and ask for forgiveness afterwards. So my wife was very, very upset, but very kind-hearted to let me continue this nonsense that was my massive grow that took over the backyard. But no, I just started getting all the stuff together. I got a first year at our house. I ended up getting those fabric pots and went to the full nine, right?
hmm
Set everything up. She thought I was crazy, and then started bringing in all this. That's also about the same time that I switched from what was it, 20? I don't know, 2017, 2018, 2018. So whenever I switched from synthetics to organics, like solid organics. And
Yeah.
man, that was a huge, huge learning curve. But then, you know, as with anyone that's experienced this, and if you haven't, and you're listening and you're trying to figure this out, you will spend a lot of upfront time and money to go organic. But once you do, you just have a very minimal thing as far as a build to kind of keep things going, because most of what you have, you can end up regenerating in healthy soil and
Correct.
keeping it good. So
Also, to piggyback on that, like the taste and flavors that you are growing don't taste like the store. It tastes way better. So you're constantly seeking that. You're like, oh, I want that. I want that. So when
yep,
you taste the store stuff, you're like, I don't want any part of that right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yes, it's good, but it's just a big difference when you're growing your own stuff because you're passionate about it. And guess what? You know every single thing that's been in there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I don't think I finished actually stating the pepper that I actually enjoy the most out of the grows. So that's shame on me for not answering that. But there we go. Definitely the seven pot primo is. So I got a trinity of three. Right. These are
Okay.
my three go tos. They've kind of been the ones that have held the top for quite a while, and nothing's really rocked them since. So seven pot primo, brain strain. I don't care what kind of brain strain. All the brain strains are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
Never even heard of it.
Oh
Okay.
man, it. You either love it or hate it, but I am 100% full send on them. I think they're phenomenal. They got a very respectable heat, a phenomenal flavor, and a very decent size. Like you can get some of them. The genetics make them bigger, which is great. You know, if you're into making product and so on and so forth. If you're just like eating them, extra size isn't too bad. Just grab a secondary one and just keep it rolling, right?
Mhm.
But so those two make two of the three, and then the third is really kind of a caveat. It's more of a line once again. So the big mustard mama and the big caramel mama, those like probably are the what would receive the third spot. So that big mama line, absolutely phenomenal. They just burn different, hit different. They're not technically rated the hottest by any stretch. They are still super hots, but just the way the capsaicinoids that are in that plant or in that pepper, they hit your they play different tricks on your mind and on your body. So I love it.
Exactly. So now what you saying that now you got me curious. Since you do you eat hot peppers, you do competitions and things like that. Like when you eat my sauces, like how does that even compare to everybody else's sauces? Because I'm not trying to be the hottest thing. I focus on flavor first. I don't care about trying to be the hottest thing or anything else like that. I want you to actually enjoy your meal. I don't want to feel like as a brand, I've poisoned you. You go to the bathroom, it's burning coming in, it's burning coming out. That's not fun. That's
Yeah,
not and not fun. And for people like for me, that's hypersensitive to a lot of things that you eat. I can't even eat a tomato if it's store bought, depending on what brand it is. I
yeah,
throw up.
yeah,
I can't eat a pizza from let's see, Domino's or whatever it is. I throw up. I just get really, really sick for a few days. But I've noticed one thing about my sauces. That's the number one thing that I love about my sauce is that I don't get sick. I don't get heartburn. It's not burning too much coming in and out. So I'm curious, how does that stand to all the things that you do eating peppers and things? Like, can you even taste? Is it even just like it's just like a one to you? So I'm curious for people like you, since your palate is already built and way up there.
yeah, yeah. No, and definitely, I get this one often. So, the best way to describe this is as your tolerance builds, it's not that you lose the ability to tell that there is some heat in that, regardless of like say you're using a banana pepper, jalapeno, whatever. I
Mhm.
mean, obviously, banana peppers really don't pack too much heat, right?
Right. Yeah.
But we'll just say jalapeno for the sake of talking this through. I
Yeah.
can still detect the heat. I can still taste it. And I still know it's there. It's just as your tolerance builds on those things that are, typically blowing people's doors off, I can taste a lot more depth to that pepper and all the different notes that kind of come with it, the fruitiness, et cetera, that may be there.
Mhm.
So if anything, it just kind of opens up that window of being able to really appreciate what is there from, the sauce that's presented or the product in general.
So when you're going for a hot sauce, you're not even looking for the most hottest hot sauce. You're looking for something flavorful and hot.
Yeah, yeah, because I think there's a beauty to it and really a great art between having those two things balanced, kind of like the yin and the yang, right? You can
Yeah.
have the flavor, but as long as you're chasing in the heat as well, and it's this even harmonious balance between the two, man, it's like spot on. But
Yeah.
every sauce and every product has its own intended use and applications and things that it really highlights it best in. It would be like, oh, this is probably the best way I could think. I don't know why I haven't thought about this, but it's like, all right, so when you're playing those games, whether that be a sports game or a car game or whatever, and it's like, oh, you can pick your athlete, and it's like, oh man, I want
Yeah.
to turn his skills all the way to 100. I want to make sure that he has all the endurance. Boom, boom, boom. Like you can build something crazy, right? And it's just going to potentially shut down everything. But in the real scheme of things, you'll never find that in a product because there's never going to be something that's just like absolutely the hottest thing, absolutely the most
Yeah.
flavorful. Like
Yeah.
there's trades to this all, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So, and what's hot today might not be hot tomorrow.
Correct. And that's the beauty of this is just like I love the fact that you got everybody trying to do different things. It's like, but we all trying to the end game is all the same, and that's my favorite part about this. It's like we all want to make a good product at
Yep.
the end of the day, and I like the fact like North Texas Hot Sauce Festival. Them like I can go in there and ask them any type of question. They're not gatekeeping like a lot of people. It's just like a good network of people that you can talk to and be like, hey, I need this. Hey, I don't understand this. Hey, I need labels. Hey, I don't have insurance. I don't have this. I don't have that. It's just a good network of people that you can ask these questions because you don't have all of these network of people that you can actually ask all of these questions. And so with that, man, it's very fun and it makes you feel like, oh, I'm not alone in this thing, and that if I have any question, I can just ask any one of these people in this chat group.
Yep. Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's also something that I speak to a lot on here and with others, really just getting basically the exact same feedback is the beauty about this overall community right now is and I guess not I say right now, but it should say it's been this way since, I've ever known it and I've heard from people that have been in this a
Tapping in,
lot
baby.
longer.
I'm just tapping
Huh?
in. I said, I'm just tapping in. I'm just tapping in. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
a
yeah.
year in, like we
It's
doing big things and like
Yeah, I
mm,
mean the beauty is everyone's so loving, they're so caring, they just want to help each other. It's not this rivalry like, oh no, don't buy this, like this person doesn't know that. Like no, at the end of the day, it's this beautiful thing that everyone's really looking to grow, share, and just be a part of it. All
mm.
boats rise in high tides. So it's like at the end of the day, everyone's looking out to make sure everyone else wins because if everyone wins, they're all winning together, right? So,
To me, it makes me smile that a person comes to my table and be like, hey, I like all the flavors in that. It's super hot. I mean, it's not super hot, but like if you make it a little bit hotter, I would buy it. But then they wind up buying two bottles and then going down the table, just like, ooh, and I hear and be like, the flavors in his was a little bit better, but I still want to buy two of yours. I'm just like, dang, look at you. Like that makes me feel good because I know my sauce is a little bit on the mild side because I want you to enjoy it. Maybe pour the whole bottle on the whole thing on, your stuff. But I know you can't do that on with some of these brands and that's okay. But my focus is I want you to enjoy your food. Like they're
yep,
good utility sauces. And I feel like there's some sauces that you can't do that. Like, oh, this is only good on chili. Oh, this is only good on wings, or this is only good on this. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to limit your sauce needs.
yep,
I
yeah,
want you to sauce it up as much as possible. And I don't know every single thing that there is out there that you can possibly put it on. I love hearing people come back and be like, hey, I tried your sauce on eggplants. It was good. I tried it on this. It was really good. I'm like, I don't eat every single thing. So to get this feedback is very cool. Cause sometimes it's like, man, I don't know, man. I don't know what I should put it on. Like, I'm gonna put it on pizza. OG is very good on pizza, though, by the way. But
yeah.
but it just depends on your palate of the day. But that's what I'm going for.
Oh
That's
yeah.
what I'm going.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, and it's definitely seen throughout everything that you do the creativity. Once again, to tie back to the very first thing I said, your creativity, your passion, your drive to it all, it's phenomenal. It's very apparent. You can see it. You can feel it definitely whenever you're there in person, standing in front of you. Like you're seeing your heart, love, and soul just dumped out on everything that you have there, and it's very well presented. It's very eye catching and appealing, and I love everything that you're doing with that. So kudos there. I will say, as far as like we talked about some of the sauces that you have as well, and we've kind of highlighted, the overall atmosphere that it's felt whenever you're at these events. But inspiration wise for these sauces, I know that you had mentioned that you made like what was it? You said 4 within a short span of about a week. What is your motivation and your inspiration? What drives you to create the products that you create?
It's more of how many times I mess up and understanding why this product did not do its thing. And I'm more obsessed with why did it go wrong, and then understanding all those things that why it go wrong, you come out with something better than you thought you did. And that's where I go for it. Cause like a lot of people are like, oh, I did this and this is the way it comes out. And it's like, no, maybe you should do this. Maybe you should boil it. Maybe you should blend it. Maybe you should put it in the oven. Maybe there's no right way or wrong way to do this. And that's why I love making hot sauce, because like there's no right way or wrong way. It's your science. It's your baby. It's like you're creating baby Frankensteins when you're doing this. Sometimes it's going to be alive and you're going to be super excited about it. And then sometimes you're like, man, that sauce was shit. And it didn't taste really good. And you're like, huh, why?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, maybe I should put some seasonings in there. And then you realize you're like, oh, that's all it was missing. That's all it was missing. That's it.
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful thing, and to be able to um, see, try, reflect, and really being able to make those adjustments on the fly is big. I know oftentimes, whether it be in sauce making, whether it be in overall, whatever the case may be, even we'll just put it as artists in general, they'll be working on a piece and they will be trying to
Don't you
perfect
dare start that.
this piece, and they'll end up they'll either drive themselves crazy trying to perfect it, or B, they will live in a land of this is it, this is the best it will ever be, and they'll never touch it, never look at it ever again. And honestly, the second part happens, I feel like, more frequently than not with certain sauces. Like a sauce maker may get very hung up on it, and they're like, "This is it. This is what it is." And then I've heard like, "Hey, why is this not doing X, Y, and Z?" And it's like, hold up, wait a minute. Let's just think about this. Are you happy with it? Do you find the need in it? Do you
Correct.
find that it has its place? If you can answer
Correct.
those questions, leave it alone and forget it. Like, don't worry about it. But if you're caught up on the idea of always catering to every single person that's there, you're not going to be able to hit all with one shot, right? Like, because there's
Correct.
just too many difference in opinions and flavors, and
Mhm.
everything hits differently. So,
Just got to do whatever makes you happy. Like working at the ATX Beamer, like, I'm doing my thing. I'm under this expensive BMW, right? I'm doing my thing. And he looks at me. He's like, Joe, I don't even know why you working here. He's like, you're a professional artist. You make more money than all of us. So they think. Um, you make more money than all of us. And why don't you just go ahead and just push the hot sauce thing? I'm like, why would I do that? And like, I already got the art thing. Like, I'm pretty happy with that.
yeah,
That's what made me do this. Like, art, it makes me happy. It does, because like that's how I get rid of childhood trauma,
yeah,
versus carrying it on. Art is time capsules. Same thing, just like hot sauce. They're just little time capsules of your difficult moments. Nobody wants to be vulnerable enough to admit that, like, but that's just how it goes. Like, you might make a piece, you might think it's your best. It's never going to be your best, because your best is you walking away from that piece knowing it is your best and never looking back. But everybody wants to look back because they ain't got the confidence in themselves to be like, oh, this is my best. No,
Yep.
you want to look at it and be like, oh, critique it for what? If it's your best, leave it alone. Walk away with it and be like, hey, this is my best work that I've ever done. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks
Yep.
because this is your best work. Be proud of it. Stand on top of it and be you. And I feel like so many people want to be not organically themselves. And that's where I'm just going to be organically myself because at the end of the day, that's all I'm going to take with me when I, go. So
Yep. Absolutely. And that's beautiful artwork back behind you. So, how long have you been an active artist? We'll put it that way.
5 years.
5 years? Okay. Very nice. Do you have a personal medium of choice?
My bad. I misspoke. It's 7 years, and it's glass. And
Okay.
the reason why I choose glass when you're angry,
Mhm.
when you shatter that, the sound and it going across the floor, you feel like you've really done something, and you really done nothing but made a big mess.
Yeah.
Because later, guess who has to clean that up?
Yeah. You have to go right back and get it. But the
And
beauty
so
thing of glass is you can take it and remelt it back down and repurpose it. So,
you can't do that with my stuff, and that's the beauty of it. That's why I
okay.
like my art because I use spray paint, I use acrylic. It's just depending on my day. I might use all types of different things, but it comes out a beautiful piece, and it's time capsules of moments and things that you are going through. And so when hot sauce came along, I was very down. And so because on my art stuff, because when people come to you, they expect you to spell your they expect you to sell your stuff as if you're a big corporation like Ross or whatever for $25, $10. Is like, bro, like you disrespected my feelings and my childhood trauma, the things that I've gone through. You want me to sell it to you for $10, not realizing I was thinking about offering myself for things like that. And you
Hmm.
coming over here talking about $25, realizing that I put a price on this and you're disrespecting me. When you go to a major brand store, you don't be like, hey, I got $10 on this, and that's all I'm paying for this. No, you pay that $5,000 for that Gucci bag or whatever, and but I don't no longer get mad at the person or frustrated with the person. It's more big corporation and things like that, but you don't take it personal. It's just like, hey,
Yeah.
you're trying to spend money as far as your money can go. And
Yeah.
that's okay. And that's
Yeah.
okay.
No, that makes perfect sense. I had a something pop in my head as we were talking about that, and it's a beautiful marriage between the two. And I don't know if you've thought about this or if it's something in the works, but there's a lot of companies that do hot sauce and they make collectors memorabilia type of bottles, whether that be like the actual bottle on the inside is the normal bottle, but they
Yeah.
put art around it. Have you
Mhm.
ever thought about doing that with your own, with your art and combining the sauce and having a collector
Don't don't
series?
don't don't start something because I told you I have ADHD. I get real excited about things. I'm very cheap, and I like making things happen as fast as possible.
Yeah.
You don't want to go down that road.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Hey,
like,
I'm just saying that
that
sounds like
would
some
be
awesome
something.
collaborations.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You are not wrong about that. You are not wrong.
Well, we'll I'll one day just I'll be waiting for it, anxiously waiting in the corner, and just like, when is it gonna drop?
For real, for real. That would be fun because each bottle would be its own thing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think it's super cool. But I guess not to motivate you too much in that area. What speaking on that same note though, as far as the future, like what future goals are you working on? Anything right now? I know last time we were at North Texas Hot Sauce Fest, you had some spicy chips that were going on. What's in the works and what's going on for Madman Sauce?
I'm thinking about come. I have this concept of everybody likes doing things. And I feel like as a hot sauce company or any hot sauce company, we're taking the fun part of making hot sauce away. And so in 2025, I have something that's going to come out for the customers to feel like, hey, I've made this sauce. I feel like I did this versus, hey, I'm coming to buy this bottle of hot sauce. I want you to enjoy the things that you do, but also make it a family experience or a personal experience for you. And I feel like some of that's been taken away from, the hot sauce game. Like, we all make good hot sauce. That's not trying to take away from that, but I feel like there's a lot of people that come and be like, hey, I want to make my own sauce. I want to do this. I want to try this. Well, all right, well, put your money where your mouth is. Let's try that. Let's
Yeah.
do that. So in 2025, I don't know when I'm coming up with that concept, but that's I already got it in the works already. So
Very nice. I'm looking forward to it. That sounds like a lot of fun, and it's definitely something. From what it sounds like, it could be a very rememberable event that could be shared for those individuals that are whether that be just the person that ordered it or a family duo or a husband and wife trying to knock something out and really just
right.
join together and strengthen a bond. Because we all know that capsaicin ends up just doing nothing but forming tighter bonds with anyone that you share it with.
For real, for real.
So, okay, that sounds super
And I'm
cool.
also working on the hotter sauce, but you know how I am. If it's not flavor first, I'm not going to do it. I'm not just trying to burn your face off for fun.
Yeah, and no, that makes perfect sense. I mean, I've had quite a few different guests that have come on, and they've really talked about that being the main focus in the sense that, like, and this is something that I can easily attest to as well. It's really easy to make a super hot sauce, right? It's really hard to make one that tastes great. So it's always easier and best suited to dial in the flavor first, and then figure out how you can add the heat, and then if you need to walk back in some of that flavor and just just incrementally notching it in than it is to just say, well, let's go full tilt, let's throw all the heat that we can at this thing, and then we'll just chase it down with flavor. Like, nah, you're gonna end up burning yourself out. It's gonna taste bad, you're gonna hate it. It's gonna be a whole nother thing.
And
um,
then also, since you're throwing every single thing at it, you're like, wait, what did I put in there again?
oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's quite a few times that whether it just be making some salsa at home for holidays or whatever the event might be, that I've just like, I'll throw some stuff together and I'm like, man, that was really good. I should have probably like wrote something down on that, and I'm like, whatever. And then, but yeah, if this is what you're doing and this is your profession, like you best believe you better be writing stuff down and making sure you have it right. Oh, otherwise you're
Every
chasing.
single time. Every single, well, everything is here.
Yeah,
Everything is here. I only write things down because they make me write things down. But my brain, the way it works, it's it's amazing.
yeah,
I love my brain. It's a big filing cabinet. I love the way it works, but they're like, hey, no, no, no. It's not fair that it's up here. Like, what if you pass on, or like, what if I need the recipe to do this or whatever? I'm just like, oh well, but then I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Let me go ahead and jot that down. I'm like, how do you know every single recipe to the T, to the measurement, to the seasoning? That's just how our brain works when you have ADHD and you want to use it for a good purpose. Like,
yeah,
you can choose to be distracted, or run around the house or do all types of different things. That just comes in all shapes and forms. We're all different, and I like that. But
yeah.
I
No,
feel like that's like my ultimate superpower, because like I use that to drive me making all of these crazy things. And I love hearing the customers that never had my sauce, that never had my sauce, that don't eat hot sauce. And they try to be like, okay. I was expecting that to just burn my mouth off, or taste like chemicals, or taste like that. And just like, no, one, there's no artificial colors in my stuff. I'm not going to put no preservatives in there. I'm not going to put xanthium gum. I'm not going to put tomatoes in there just because it's an extra filler, just because, like, oh, it's cheaper. I won't do that, because
mhm.
my sauces to taste exactly what they're supposed to taste like. If it's more peppers in there, then that's just what I got to do. But to wash it out with all of these other things, I just won't do that. My sauce is what it is. Some of them may be a little watery, some of it be a little thick. Like, that is what it is, but it will always be the same. Always be the same. And that's one thing I love about my products.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And very well said. I think there's obviously within the last note, there's a use case purpose for everything. And if it is a little bit more runny than, say, another sauce, well, you know what? It just has a different use case that it's best suited
Okay.
for. So, yeah, absolutely. 100% behind that. Something I forgot to ask, how long have you been making hot sauce now?
A year.
A year. There we go. I like
Yeah,
it. Man, you're just rocking
but
and rolling with it.
a lot of people think that we've been making hot sauce at least 4 or 5 years. I'm like, no, we're a brand new company. Like, I've had so many companies reach out to us and ask us to come out to do these big events, and I'm like, I'm not quite there yet. I'm not in the commercial kitchen. It's just like NASCAR. I've had a couple other big companies reach out. And it's like, dang, like we babies, but like when you know your product and you know color theory and you try not to be like everybody else, you understand that the reason why everybody knows McDonald's is because of the golden arches and the colors.
Yep,
You can just
absolutely.
they don't even have to have the whole sign. You can just have the golden arches. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do with my brand. If you see my face, you already know what it is.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
You already know that any product that I make, hey, I want anything that they make,
Yeah.
regardless of what it is.
Yeah. And to that point, I mean, you do a phenomenal job from everything from the visual appeal of the color pop to the outlay to the text font, like very eye appealing the whole way around. So, keep it up. Looking forward to it. A year in, that's super exciting. Everyone's seeing your passion, your motivation, your drive, your heart, love, and soul poured out in your products. I think, it's just only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as we go. And I'm looking forward to watching your growth path and everything just catapult for you.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. It's been a joy seeing all of these faces. Zest Fest really set it off for us because, like, I was really feeling like the underdog when we went to Zest Fest. That was the first time we met you, right?
Yeah.
And I was really feeling like the underdog. And every single time a customer came up to my table, they was like, there's no product that tastes like yours. And how your table is set up and your pipettes and this and that, like you really thought every single thing through. And I was like, if I can just stand out just 2%, that makes me happy. There's a lot of us doing this, but like my goal is to just try to just be a little bit different, because if you're just a little bit different, then guess what? You stand out a lot.
Yep.
But a lot of people are trying to focus on trying to be like the next man, or trying to be like the spiciest, whatever. It's like, just do what makes you happy. As long as it makes you happy, that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well said. Let me do this. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the game. All right, welcome to Keep 5, Cut 5. This is a very fun and unique game of 10 options on the board. The best flow of this, I'll go through and list them all here in a second. The best flow of this is to either choose to keep one or cut one first, and just to alternate back and forth to keep the game fresh and interesting. And obviously, we'll talk about a few as we go to
Okay.
see kind of what the reasoning was behind it. And I'll preface this now because there are some times where this just becomes too much of a battle. And as your own PSA to everyone listening, watching, this does not mean that you hate these things in any shape or form. It's just some have to go in this game and some have to stay. And it's not a finite decision. But let's do this. So up first, you have so this is going to have a theme here. So you got fruit. Then you have smoked. You have jalapeno for being your tame. You have sweet, right? You have savory, umami. You have jalapeno or habanero for your mid range. This picture here is actually of a 7-pot dougala. So you have your Superhots representative on the board, and you have vinegar. This is, this could be whatever you want to make of it, but essentially what it is going to be keeping 5 and cutting 5 of what's here. So you're essentially kind of at this point making either an ideal sauce that you would want to see or that you have, and we'll roll with it from that point. So what would you like to keep or cut first?
Ooh. Mm, Unami. Umami. I can't even say the word right.
Umami, do you want to keep it or cut it?
Cut it.
Cut it. All right. Do you not like the earthy nature to things on the umami notes, or what is it?
I'm a baby. That's way too much for me.
Okay. All right. Easy enough. All right, let's keep one. Which one are you gonna keep?
Dang. So many good things on there that I like. I'm like, ooh.
Yep.
Fruit.
All right, we're keeping fruit. I like it. Now, do you like and I kind of know this, but for those that are watching and this is their first time meeting you, you know, is it important to you to carry forward from the fruit, the sweet note forward, or the body of the overall flavor from that fruit forward?
I want you to get the full flavors of the fruit. Why do I want to add anything extra to that? That's taken away from you and the product if I got to add something to that.
Yep. Very well said. I like it. All right. So now we have one to cut. Which one would you like to cut?
Smoky.
Smoky. All right, we're cutting it. Is that something that you just haven't seen the greatest results out of using, or is that just something you're just not passionately into right now?
I have one sauce that has a smoky flavor to it, but it's not everything has to be smoky. In like most the time, I feel some people they either use chemical, other flavors, or they use the grill, whatever. But whatever flavor, it doesn't have to always be smoky.
Yep.
I
Yep.
feel like that one's always an overdone product. Smoky barbecue chips, smoky habanero. It's like, why does everything smoky mustard, whatever? It's like everything doesn't have to be smoky. It
Yep.
can just be a product of what it is.
Yep. No, very well said. Like it. All right. Let's pick one to keep now.
Garlic.
Keeping garlic. Easy go to. All right.
I
Well,
don't think you understand. We use garlic in everything in this household.
oh yeah, no.
Everything on everything. We
I'm
couldn't get
I'm
them.
the I'm definitely the person that if it calls for too close of garlic, I put in like 7 to 9. So yeah, I definitely like garlic.
Heck yeah.
No shame in that. All right, which one we cutting?
Are those habaneros right? I mean, not habaneros. Are those jalapenos right there?
Yeah, that's jalapeno. That's just
Yep.
representing like a mild.
Yep. We're getting rid of those.
Okay. Boom. Very well said. And keeping
Habanero.
habanero. Always easy to get a hold of. Great flavor. Actually has a nice fruity note once you get past it, and
I just
it
like
tastes
the
like
fact that
blueberries. Like it kind of reminds me of eating blueberries, if you will, to me.
I like the fact that that pepper, depending on the heat and how you use it, you can manipulate it enough that you can get it up to ghost pepper, but it won't have the same notes and flavors and things like that if you use enough peppers. But it's like that's the reason why habaneros is my favorite pepper because like you can manipulate it enough that you're like, oh snap, like whoa, that's like really, bro. Mm-mm. And I've made two sauces that's like way up there, and the dude was like, "Hey, I want a super spicy sauce," and guess what he told me? That's way too hot. And he got the hiccups and he started sweating. He's like, this is way too much for me. No, remember you asked for super spicy. This is what you wanted. Now it's too much.
Yep. Hey, be careful what you ask for.
Yep.
All right, let's cut another one here. So
Vinegar.
we have savory, we have
Oh,
sweet,
my bad, not vinegar.
and then
Go
we
ahead.
have vinegar, and we have super hots.
Is it super hot? Is the two in the middle?
Yeah, the super hots is this one right here. Boom.
That look like some chocolate pepper.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
a,
chocolate dougla.
Man, I'm like, that mug look good. I don't even know, but it gets me all types of excited about that bad boy right there.
Yep,
I don't even know it yet.
it's a tasty pepper.
Hmm. So did you say keep or get rid of?
We can do either here.
Hmm. We're gonna keep the vinegar.
All right. Simple enough. Yeah, I just ended up just selecting white vinegar, but it just represents vinegar. All right, so now we
Ooh,
have sweet, savory, and super hot. So which one would you like to remove from the list?
super hot.
Super hot it is. Boom.
Bye, sexy pepper.
It's definitely packs a nice punch, that's for sure. All right, so we have a keep and we have a cut. So really, this next decision kind of wraps up the game.
But it's kind of hard.
Yep. This is one of the questions old as time, I feel like. If you like
Mm,
sweet or you like savory.
mm, mm. I'm gonna have to pick savory.
All right. Are we cutting it or keeping it?
We're gonna keep that bad boy.
Okay. Very well said. I like it. Sweet, it's out. Boom. And there's nothing wrong with sweet sauce, but they definitely have a purpose and a use case.
Oh
So,
heck yeah, they do. They do. They do.
all right.
Whether it's like a salad or put it on not vegetables, fruits,
Mm-hmm.
or just all types of different things. Whatever the sauce is, it's like it's
Yeah.
gonna be good. And like in one of my videos, like I said, cheesecake always is gonna
Yep.
be good if it's a sweet sauce.
Oh yeah, I love my hot sauces on desserts. I'm also a little bit odd in the sense that I'll find sauces that aren't technically a dessert sauce, but maybe one of the notes that's really strong or prevalent throughout it would lend itself to the dessert in a little bit of a stretch for most people. But in my mind, it tends to work out. And by the time I try it, I'm like, oh, this is a winner right here. So,
Now I have a question you made me think about since you said that. What is
yeah.
your favorite hot sauce
Oh
brand?
man.
I should say.
Oh, well, this is definitely one that I have been trying to not talk about often because, I love so many, but my go-to staple always in the house, no matter what the time of year, it's anything from Primo's peppers.
Okay.
So it's really kind of started with Swampadelic. Swampadelic was the one that was like always in the house, and it still is. But now it's expanded to Swampadelic, and then I'll hit up their Verde, the Premonition, absolutely phenomenal. And then there's a hotter, it's hotter than Swampadelic, and it's called Primo Army. You get all the same it's very straightforward pepper, super hot taste, but tons of flavor, and it's really accentuating the flavor in those super hots. So if your tolerance isn't built up to that, you're not really gonna get a lot of those notes. It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit hard. It's gonna hit quick, and it's gonna build, and you'll miss out on a lot of the good flavor. But
But see, that's a good thing that you found a product that's good for you because, like, I feel like a lot of people haven't tried enough sauces to find that good sauce tailor made for them that they didn't even know about because that they're so scared about. And it's like once you go out there and find that sauce that is for you,
yep,
you gonna stop buying it. It's addictive. It's like, oh, I'm about to pour this on that. Oh, I know that that's good with chili, or I know that that's good with ham, or I know that that's good with whatever. But like, that's the beauty of different hot sauce companies. Is like once you find that one, you won't stop buying it because it feels like it's tailor made for you and your tongue, and that's
yep,
the beauty of this.
yep, absolutely, absolutely agree with that. That was Keep Five, Cut Five. So, man, I hope that you enjoyed that game. I was trying to have fun with the creative ideas of what ways and aspects we could really tailor this game towards you, and
Mhm.
and I felt like that drove it home. Hopefully, you enjoyed the game as well.
No, it was fun because like some of those peppers on there, I'm like, I haven't never met them, but hey. we're about to be friends.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, definitely.
it was definitely fun.
That the 7 pot dougla, if you are looking into it, if you're looking at the chocolate one in particular, it's got a nice
Mhm.
smoky, slightly nutty note, phenomenal flavor, a little bit of fruitiness, but nothing too crazy. Mostly that smoky and nutty is the main overall flavor notes that you're going to be picking up, and then it packs a lot of heat. So great one to mix in if you're just trying to ramp up the heat and bring a nice more what is that, savory, earthy note to it.
And I'm like, the things that I would pair that with would be like, I've only had it one time because I grew it in my backyard, but I've never physically bought one ever. Would be the chocolate bell pepper, like
Hmm.
that. Oh man, it has the right amount of sweetness, bitterness, and like pepperness, pepperiness, I guess, or you can
Yep.
say. But that's what I would pair something like that with. It's like, now you got me excited. Like, where are my seeds at? Let me see if I got any chocolate bell peppers in there.
Yep. There we go. I like it. All right. Well, hey, here's a fun part right here where we take a moment to do a nugget of knowledge. This is something that would be great. So you're a year in. This is definitely something that would be fresh on the mind that you'd be able to give a nugget of knowledge to other individuals that are looking to break into the space or create a spicy product of any kind, right? What would be one thing you would wish you could tell yourself? Obviously this is helping those others, but something that you would tell yourself to either skip a hurdle, a pothole, whatever the case may be.
Hmm, that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah,
um, keep it simple. My bad. Keep it simple, stupid. That has been our motto since we've been doing this, and that's the reason why I feel like we've been successful, because I feel like a lot of people overthink things. It's just keep it simple, stupid, and
absolutely.
everything's gonna be okay.
Absolutely. Great way to go about it. Less moving parts, less moving everything. It's easier to diagnose, figure out, make adjustments, and keep it going. To going back to what you said earlier and what we were talking about back and forth is if you throw too much in all at once, you have a hard time figuring out what went wrong. So
Yep.
love it. All right. Well, now's the great time where you get to nominate someone and put them on the hot seat. The hot seat is somebody that you would think that would make a great guest for the show.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Honestly, probably Big Reds.
Okay. All right. Big Reds, we'll be setting up a time to get you going and getting you on this show and find out a time that works best for having you here and look forward to it. Now, the last thing is really, letting everyone know where they can find you, how they can find you, and anything you want to plug away. This, greatly helps out those that are on Apple Podcasts just listening to it on audio only.
Madmansauces.com. Yeah,
All right.
that's the only place that you can get it for right
Okay.
now.
There we go. Hey, support Texas hot sauce, local Texas hot sauce right here, and get yourself some amazing swag too. I mean, let's not forget that you have some very nice merch, very
This is
presentable.
true. This is true. This is true. You're not wrong about that. I have so many different things. I just wear it and get excited about my hoodies, my shirts, and things like that. I wear them.
Yeah,
So just forget about, oh yeah, I actually sell these things too. Like, oh, you want this hoodie? I'll just take it out here. Hey, there you go. Like, take it off my back. I don't care. Yes, I already warmed up for you. But yeah.
there we go. I love it. All right. Well, it's been an honor and absolute blast having you on here. There's still so much more we can dive into. The
Right.
time is just like absolutely flown by. I'm actually shocked at how quickly we've gone through everything that we have, and obviously still so much more that we can discuss and have a great time. So,
Mhm.
would love to have you back on.
All right.
All right. Well, let's wrap up the show.
All right. You have a nice day, man.
All right. Well, hey, Joseph, thank you so much for coming on. It was an absolute honor having you here, learning about Madman sauces, learning about your passion for art. the drive, the focus, where you're going. I mean, a year in and absolutely crushing it. Looking forward to what you're doing in the future, and definitely looking forward to having you back on and diving a little bit deeper. But man, if you wanted to pick up either of the sauces that were on Hot or Not tonight, or check out the full lineup, I'll have the direct links down below, as well as the link to the main website so you can see the full catalog. We are also opening up now for anyone that wants to sponsor the podcast. We are now taking sponsorship opportunities, so reach out. You can either check it out on www.theswearword.net, or just reach out to me on socials, and we'll get the ball rolling. But if this was your first time checking out the show, hope that you enjoyed it. Stop on in for new episodes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And hey, if you liked what was going on, drop a comment. If you're looking to grow your brand, start your brand, you've hit a bump in the road, you're trying to figure things out, highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all your needs. And man, episode 59 is in the books. Absolute fun. Crazy to think that we're already 59 episodes in. But hey, here we are. But I'm Brandon Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.